Yo, what up? It's your boy Ben back with another video, and this is my first video in like a year, but I felt like it was important for me to come on here now that Bitcoin is back at all-time highs and just kind of recap how we got here, some of my observations, and kind of give you some insight into where I think we're headed at going into the future. I have some indicators that I don't see anyone really talking about right now that I think can really help us navigate these markets. And I really want to give this knowledge to everyone so we can all have the tools we need to succeed. And like I said, I feel like people really aren't talking about this stuff right now, and everyone's just really bullish and not really, considering where we're at right now. And that's not to say that you shouldn't be bullish, but I think that it's very important that we, take a step back and really, assess where we're at and how much longer we think this rally can go for. So with that being said, let's get right into the meat of the video. Don't want to waste too much time. It's like 2 a.m. where I'm at, and I really want to go to sleep. So let's get right into it. So here I have a chart of Bitcoin pulled up. Ever since November 2022, we've pretty much been going straight up ever since the FTX collapse. And when you take this cycle into perspective in terms of where it fits, where other cycles were at this point, you can see that we're pretty far along. We've never been, at the all-time high prior to the halving. That being said, we never had this type of double top formation that we had last cycle, and by a lot of metrics, this top here in April of 2021 was the actual top. So even though we made a very slightly higher price top here in terms of sentiment, froth in the markets, all of that type of stuff, this was really the top. And some of the indicators that I'll be showing you today will also back that up. So given that this was sort of an aberration in terms of a pattern, it shouldn't be that surprising that we're now doing something again that we haven't seen in terms of hitting the all-time high this early. And if you take this as the all-time high, or if you take this as the top from April 2021, then we'd actually be pretty much on schedule in terms of breaking the all-time high. So if we go back to this cycle, we essentially had a bottom, or a top rather, in December 2013, and after this top, we didn't break through that level until March 2017. So that was about, let's just get the date range tool out. $1,200 days. So in terms of years, that's like what, 3.5 years or so. I'm not the best at math on my feet, but yeah, it's about 3 years and 4 months, give or take. Then moving over to the 2018 cycle, or 2016 halving cycle. We bottomed in December 2018, topped in December 2017, and from the time we topped in December 2017, we didn't break that until November 2020. Or our first attempt at breaking it was November 2020, and then we ended up breaking it in December 2020. So that was exactly 3 years after the top. So clearly you can see it kind of the time it takes us to get back to the all-time high is shortening each cycle it seems. So here we had about 3.5 years, give or take. Here exactly 3 years. And then if we move over to here, if we take the top from December or November 2021, that was about 840 days, so a little bit over 2 years. Like 2 years and a couple months. So that would be by far the shortest. But if we take the top from here in April 2021, then that's 1,058 days. So still the shortest, but it's a lot less of a leap in that sense. So that would be about 2.5 years, a little bit under 3 years for us to get from from this top in April 2021 to this new high, or retest those local tops here in February 2024. So if you take this as the top, then this date range is in line with what we've seen in the past, right? So 1,072 days, 1,058 days, and this is the longest, right? So if you take the top from here, it's pretty much in line with what we've seen. So that's interesting, right? So if we keep along with this kind of theory that we have, that April 2021 was the real top. So if I apply the Pi cycle top indicator to this chart, which I don't see too many people talking about right now, but this is probably one of the most important indicators in crypto, probably one of the most accurate. It exactly called this initial top here, or here rather. And even though we had a technical new local top here, the Pi cycle top indicator called this April 2021 top as the sort of real top. So that being the case, now we have a theory that we're taking the April 2021 top as the real top in Bitcoin, and that helps inform us of why we're reaching local highs today, right? So we're not completely moving in the dark here. Obviously, if you only look at the pure price points in Bitcoin, or the pure date trends, it doesn't make sense for us to be hitting new highs at this point in the cycle. But given that if you take this as being the real top, then it makes complete sense. So let's just operate off of the assumption that April 2021 was the real top in Bitcoin. That being the case, there's something else on this Pi cycle top indicator that I wanted to point out, and that is that usually when we come up to this green line here, which is the 350 day moving average, Bitcoin usually sees some resistance there before breaking out above it. So if we come back to this point here before we broke to new highs, you see it got some resistance before it finally broke through. This rally we had in 2019, it went above it very shortly before coming back down and retesting it and closing back under it. Here as well, we tested, rejected, went back under it. And in bull runs, right, at least the 2016 halving cycle, it kind of, kept touching this green line, touching it. And then when it finally broke through is when we had that real parabolic move. So this 350-day moving average is very important. It's a very important kind of indicator for Bitcoin. And in addition to that, this 111-day moving average, which is this orange line here, is something that Bitcoin uses as a kind of support zone in a bull run. And when we break below it, that's a sign that we're pretty much, done for. And it kind of holds it as resistance before it finally takes the plunge. So in a bull run, we hold this as support. As you can see here, kind of held this as support before taking off. And moving to this cycle, you can see we're also holding it sort of as a support zone, right? We kind of went below it for a little bit, but we got right back above it, held it as support here, took off. And what's interesting is that this is our first time this cycle hitting this 350-day moving average. So this is a very key point in the cycle that I'm paying attention to see if we get a pullback here. Because like I showed you, in the past, once we hit this price point, we usually do see some resistance. And if we do break through here, then we can pretty much say that, we'll be going on a parabolic run. So this is we're at a very important, crucial point here right now. And the next few days will be very telling in terms of what Bitcoin will be doing going into the halving. Now that I've gone over that, I just wanted to briefly touch on some price points I'm interested in terms of taking profits on this bull run we're on. There's not a lot of things to go off of in terms of a time perspective. I was really hoping to rely on, that time pattern this cycle. Usually we break the all-time high in December and then go on some type of a run in the first half of the post-halving year, but unfortunately it doesn't look like that's what we'll be doing this time. So all I really have to go off of is these three indicators, which I'm about to go over right now. One of them being the Pi cycle top indicator, which I already went over. So this is going to be a very important one for me. Right now, we're still pretty far off from a cross. But once Bitcoin really starts moving, the cross can, happen fast. And the Pi cycle top is pretty much called once these two moving averages cross. So once the green one crosses over the orange one, I believe that's how it works. Yeah, so once we get that cross, that's pretty much lights out. So we're still off, pretty far off from it right now. But if Bitcoin keeps moving this fast, that cross could come pretty quickly. In terms of an extension from each other, seems like we're literally about like right here. About right here in December 2020, maybe a little bit farther off, but not by much. And once we went on that parabolic run, it took the Pi cycle top indicator about 4 months to finally cross. It crossed in April. I remember when this happened very vividly, actually. So from this point of breaking the all-time high to the Pi cycle top, signal being called, it's about 4 months. Then if we come back here, same thing. Once we broke through that green line in May 2017, we got the Pi cycle top indicator call in December 2017. So that's about 7 months. So here was 4 months, here 7 months. Just depends on how fast the price moves, but I'm using that as kind of a guider, right? We can say that once we break through this green line, probably have another 3 to 8 months of upward price movement before we probably hit a top in Bitcoin. So that would put us in, if we assume that this gets broken here in March. We're in March. If this gets broken here in March, then we could probably say between June and let's say like September or October is when we would be looking for a topping in Bitcoin. And in terms of price points for that, I'm looking at the logarithmic regression band. So this has been pretty accurate in terms of calling tops in the past. Pretty much whenever we hit this red zone, it's a pretty good indicator of us getting towards the top. So right now that red zone, and this is moving up as time goes along, but right now that red zone ranges from 170k to 254k or so. So the longer it takes us to reach this, the higher it'll go. But once Bitcoin starts moving, it moves fast. So if we go by this, then we can assume the top in Bitcoin will be around 170k or so. That's a little high, especially when you take into account another indicator I like, which is the Benjamin Cohen risk metric. Regardless of what you think of Ben, I think he has done a lot in the space, and his risk metric has been very accurate over the past 3 or 4 years since he developed it. So it's something that I'm taking seriously, and right now I think the risk band for that is around, I think the 9 risk band is around 96k or so, and I think 1 risk is like around 114 or so. But that risk metric also moves up over time, and as Bitcoin goes up in price, it can shift further up. So it takes like the price as well as time into account for that. So by the time Bitcoin reaches the 9 risk metric on his indicator, the price for 9 risk could be a lot higher than 96 at that time. It could be around 130 or 140 or so. But that's pretty much the range I'm really looking at for Bitcoin. For a top is around, I'd say 120 to 140, and there I would be really looking to be cautious in the market. I mean, right now, you should be cautious just because we're doing stuff we've never done before. But I think in terms of price, we're still sort of, I would say we're still, I don't know if undervalued is the right word, but there's still value there. Just because this cycle was kind of an aberration and we didn't go as high as we normally would, I would say. So I think the price got suppressed over here, and because of that, we could see a little bit more bullish movement this cycle, which we're already seeing with Bitcoin about to break all-time highs. prior to the halving. So yeah, just when we do get to 100K, and everyone is saying that Bitcoin will never go down again, it'll just keep going up, that's the time you want to be the most fearful, and that's what I'll be looking out for. So I hope I was able to articulate myself well. I'm still getting back into the groove of making videos and getting more comfortable doing this. In the future, I hope I can make my thoughts more succinct. Feel like I kind of rambled there for a little bit, and this video ended up being longer than I wanted, but I hope I got my point across. Basically, I think right now is an okay time to buy Bitcoin, and we can still go up like another 2 to 3x from here. Just be very cautious. And I hope some of the indicators that I pointed out that I don't think people are really talking about yet, and some of the moving averages I pointed out that I think people aren't really talking about yet, will help you out in this cycle. And with that being said, I'll be making some videos on altcoins tomorrow, and what I'm looking out for and what plays I'm looking to make in the next few weeks or so, with Bitcoin about to break all-time high. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell, and come back for some more alpha tomorrow. Talk to you later.